Reacher Season 2 premiere features a cheeky Terminator 2 reference. Reacher managed to sneak in a fun reference to Terminator 2 Judgment Day midway through its Season 2 premiere. With the addition of Robert Patrick to the cast of Reacher Season 2, series creator/writer Nick Santora seemingly couldn't pass up the opportunity to reference the actor's most iconic role, the T-1000, from James Cameron's 1991 blockbuster film Terminator 2 Judgment Day. In the Season 2 premiere ATM, Jack Reacher and Frances Neagley have checked into a hotel under the aliases Starlin Castro and Sarah Connor, respectively. When this information is passed on to Patrick's mysterious villain by his henchman, he mentions that Starlin Castro played for the Yankees 6 or 7 years ago. The henchman then asks, "And who's Sarah Connor?" prompting Patrick's character to dismissively reply, "I don't give a shit." Who is Sarah Connor? Sarah Connor, played by Linda Hamilton, is one of the main characters in the Terminator franchise. She first appears in 1984's The Terminator, where she learns that she is being hunted by a cyborg assassin sent from the future to kill her because her unborn son will one day save mankind from extinction by a hostile artificial intelligence known as Skynet. In the 1991 sequel Judgment Day, Sarah and her son, John Connor, are being hunted by the T-1000, an advanced shape-shifting Terminator composed of liquid metal. Patrick's T-1000 shared several scenes with Hamilton's Sarah Connor in Terminator 2, which makes the latter's name drop by the former in Reacher's Season 2 premiere all the more comical. To Patrick's credit, the actor has never shied away from poking fun at his time in the Terminator franchise. He previously reprised his role as the T-1000 for cameo appearances in the comedy films Wayne's World, 1992, and Last Action Hero, 1993. Reacher is back in Season 2, which adapts the Lee Child novel Bad Luck and Trouble. Veteran military police investigator Jack Reacher receives a coded message that the members of his former U.S. Army unit, the 110th MP Special Investigations, are being mysteriously and brutally murdered one by one. Pulled from his drifter lifestyle, Reacher reunites with 3 of his former teammates turned chosen family to investigate. The synopsis continues. Together, they begin to connect the dots in a mystery where the stakes get higher at every turn, and that brings about questions of who has betrayed them and who will die next. Using his inimitable blend of smarts and size, Reacher will stop at nothing to uncover the truth and protect the members of his unit. If there's one thing Reacher and his team know for certain, it's that you do not mess with the special investigators. This season, get ready for Reacher and the 110th to hit back hard. The first 3 episodes of Reacher Season 2, as well as the entirety of Season 1, are available to stream on Prime Video. The long-awaited second season of Reacher, Prime Video's action-packed series based on Lee Child's best-selling Jack Reacher novels, kicks off with a surprise that will leave both Reacher fans and film buffs grinning. Among the high-stakes drama and brutal fight scenes in the premiere, there's a clever and cheeky nod to one of the most iconic action movies of all time, Terminator 2 Judgment Day. This unexpected reference adds a fun layer of intertextuality to the series, showing that Reacher isn't afraid to wink at its audience, especially when it comes to paying homage to a beloved 90s classic. A new season, a new tone. Reacher Season 1 introduced us to a stoic, unstoppable version of Jack Reacher played by Alan Ritchson. His portrayal of the ex-military police officer was imposing, physical, and often coldly calculating, much like his literary counterpart. In the second season, however, the writers have upped the ante by injecting more humor and subtle pop culture nods, which adds a bit of levity to the otherwise intense and gritty storylines. One of the standout moments comes early in the premiere, where viewers are treated to a sly homage to James Cameron's Terminator 2. For anyone unfamiliar, T2 is widely regarded as one of the greatest action films of all time, largely due to Arnold Schwarzenegger's portrayal of a cyborg assassin who, this time, becomes the protector rather than the villain. The character's cold, emotionless efficiency has made him a pop culture icon, and it's clear that Reacher has drawn inspiration from this archetype. The cheeky reference, the Terminator 2 reference in Reacher Season 2, is both subtle and amusing. In one scene, Reacher finds himself in a chaotic situation, much like many of his encounters, but this time the action takes a more nostalgic turn. As Reacher walks away from a destructive event with barely a scratch on him, he dons a pair of sunglasses and for a brief moment strikes a pose reminiscent of Schwarzenegger's famous T-800 character. The cool, detached look, combined with the destruction in the background, is unmistakably a nod to T2, where Schwarzenegger's Terminator grabs a pair of shades after a fight and struts away as if he owns the world. It's not just the visual parallel that tips fans off to the homage, but also the timing of it within the episode. The scene is built up in such a way that viewers are primed for a serious, almost cinematic moment, only for Reacher to break the tension with this amusing, very deliberate throwback to 1991. It's the kind of moment that makes fans rewind to catch the exact second they realize what just happened. Why the reference works this cheeky homage is not just a random Easter egg, it works on multiple levels. Firstly, there's the obvious comparison between Jack Reacher and the Terminator. Both characters are essentially unstoppable forces, walking through chaos and destruction with an unshakable sense of purpose. Reacher, much like the T-800, is a man or machine of few words, preferring to let his actions speak for him. His incredible physical prowess, combined with his lack of emotional response in the face of danger, makes him feel almost superhuman at times. The shades-wearing nod is a playful way of acknowledging this connection, while also showing that Reacher is aware of the tropes it's working with. Secondly, the Terminator 2 reference fits with the show's new direction. Season 2 of Reacher is making a conscious effort to balance its dark, gritty moments with touches of humor and pop culture flair. By doing so, it avoids the trap of becoming too self-serious. The T2 wink reminds viewers that despite the life or death stakes, Reacher can still have fun with itself. A nod to 90s action nostalgia for fans of Terminator 2 and action movies of that era, the reference is also a delightful bit of nostalgia. The 90s were a golden era for action films, and T2 is one of the crown jewels of the genre. By evoking such a well-loved movie, Reacher taps into a shared cultural memory, creating a moment that resonates with viewers who grew up watching Schwarzenegger crush villains and save the day. It's a reminder that Reacher, while based on modern novels, draws on a long legacy of action heroes and tropes that stretch back decades. The subtlety of the reference is key to its success. Unlike some shows or films that shoehorn pop culture references in for cheap laughs, Reacher's homage to Terminator 2 is handled with finesse. It's not a punchline, but rather a visual wink that rewards viewers who catch it without alienating those who don't. It's a small moment in the grand scheme of the episode, but it adds a layer of fun and self-awareness that elevates the material. Conclusion: a fun tribute for a new season. As Reacher Season 2 unfolds, it's clear that the show is expanding its horizons, blending gritty action with lighter moments and cultural references that keep the audience engaged. The cheeky Terminator 2 reference in the premiere is a perfect example of this evolution, giving fans both a satisfying action sequence and a nod to a cinematic legend. In paying homage to Schwarzenegger's iconic role, Reacher not only solidifies its place in the action genre, but also reminds viewers that sometimes, even in the midst of chaos, it's okay to have a little fun. The sunglasses might come off after that scene, but the smile it brings to fans' faces lingers well into the next round of high-octane action. Reacher not only solidifies its place in the action genre, but also reminds viewers that sometimes, even in the midst of chaos, it's okay to have a little fun. The sunglasses might come off after that scene, but the smile it brings to fans' faces lingers well into the next round of high-octane action.